Evening people, evening, welcome back to the channel. Hopefully it's all coming through okay. So tonight back with Just for Fun Driving Club back at the Nordschleife for more racing. Slight change this week though, we've got only 2 races. It's going to be 2 8-lap races, so a poll was put out in the chat. The chat came back with 8-lap races, so that's what we're going to be doing. There's not many in the lobby at the minute, unfortunately. Hopefully we see more in for race 2. Unfortunately, if we crack on with race 1 straight away, then we're only going to have 7 drivers, I think. But it is what it is. So yeah, weather's changeable as well. It's on random for majority of this first race. I've just had a look at the settings. We'll go and have a look at ourselves in a second. So hopefully it should shake things up a little bit. Stickers still available, people. Hit me up, darksmoker@googlemail.com. Evening. Oh, I'm lacking light. There we go. You're lacking a little bit of light. Evening. Oh, I've not done my camera either. Oh my god. Quick configure. Come on, I'm miles away. Rah. Yeah, that'll do. Yeah, that'll do. Evening, how are we doing, peeps? So yes, here we are then, Nordschleife again. Yeah, so only 7 drivers in the lobby at the minute. Maybe the 8-lapper has put people off. So while we're in here, let's have a quick look at these settings. So there's the weather. Random. RO5, RO8, random. So RO5 is sort of light rain, RO8 is heavy rain, everything else, well, who knows? Your guess is as good as mine. Tyre wear at ×3, fuel at ×5. Over the 8 laps as well, so a bit of strategy is going to have to be employed by the drivers. What else have we got on? Damage on heavy, that does mean a trip to the pits. Wall collision on, car collision penalty on, or wall collision penalty off, sorry. Pit lane cutting penalty off. Traction control, no limit. That should be on prohibited. That's what that should be on. So we'll wait for race 1 to kick off then, still in this practice session at the minute. Who have we got? We've got Mart, Lukti, got Bondo, Popkind Vectra, Beastie Bub, Alpha Pucci, and Königschleiser. So Alpha Pucci, I think, is a new driver. Not seen him before. Everybody else has been in this lobby before. So no qualifying. It is as of driver rating. So you see the letters my cursor's now sitting over the top of, just there in the top right. You can see AS, BS, BS, CS, and then DC for little old me at the bottom there, but obviously I'm not racing. So whoever's got the sort of highest points in the driver rating and sportsmanship rating, they get pole position. And then it should be reverse grid for race 2. Right, so I'm seeing the countdown. That means we're about to get the race underway. I don't know why anybody's leaving the pits, because you're only just going to get put back on the grid anyway in a minute. Who knows? Already looks a little bit foggy out on track. Okay then, 8 laps here at Nords, only 7 drivers. Unfortunately, if they break up, it becomes a little bit of qualifying laps kind of session. Right, let's go then. Lights go on. Oh, someone rolling back in 4th. Who's that? Popkind Vectra having a little bit of a stall coming off the line. He's going to end up at the back of the pack here unless he can keep his line up the inside of Königschleiser. He can, he can't, sorry. Königschleiser goes through to take that position off him. So Mart maintains the lead then, being harassed by Lukti first and second. Should be able to hold his own through these first few corners. There is only really one line without causing some sort of chaos. Oh, not off track though. Lookty driving around the outside of him. Little bit of contact there between the two. Lookty has ended off track at the back of the pack here. 4 drivers then looking to get past and catch up with Mart. Oh, Beastie Bub wheels on the grass. Oh, there's the result. He's out wide. He's off track as well now. Gets back on but falls to the back of this field. So it is Mart leads then. Alpha Pucci in the Citroen in second. We've got Bondo in third. What were you in, Bondo? A Porsche. Got the Beetle of Koenigsschleife in fourth, down towards the hairpin. Potkine Vector in the BMW in fifth. Beastie sixth. And there's Lookty back on the rear end of this field in seventh. A little bit of front end damage he's got to contend with until he comes in the pits. Joined too late. Surfer Gin. Alpha Pucci's got himself past Mart in that Citroen. You won't be able to see anything. Oh, there it goes to bumper cam anyway, because you can't see anything out of the back end of these things. Citroen might be a little bit overpowered. We'll see. BMW of second place, staying with Alpha Pucci for the time being. We've got Bondo in the Porsche in third, Beetle in fourth. Is it too much? Look at it, what an absolute spaceship this thing is. Oh, you know what I probably haven't done? Boom! Turn the sound on for you lot. There you go, now you can hear it. Lookty then, back up to fifth already. He's got himself past Potkine Vector and Beastie Bub. Beastie also holding that sixth. So Potkine Vector has swapped positions. He was in fifth, now seventh. Lookty was in seventh, now fifth. Beastie staying exactly where he is. Potkine then at the back currently, but everyone's still pretty close. No split times between first and second at the minute. Interesting. Oh, well, second or third. Koenigsschleife also moves up the field a little bit, gets himself past Bondo. There is Lookty having a look at Bondo as well. Ferrari versus Porsche power. Ferrari makes it. Porsche coming back though. Bondo not quite able to get to the side of him. Oh, he's still trying though, coming into the hairpin, sorry, the carousel. They stay as they are. Alpha Pucci not quite disappeared yet. Oh, Mark gets pushed out of the carousel, has to drive over the top, slows him down. Almost gets overtaken by Koenigsschleife. Loses a little bit of time to Alpha Pucci in front, but again it is an 8-lap race, so what's the strategy? Alpha Pucci on the soft tyres, Mart on the hards behind. That's a pretty decent job to be hanging on to the Citroen on a set of softs. Koenigsschleife also on the softs, pushing, looking for a way past Mart. Lookty on the softs. Ooh. Bondo on the mediums for stint one. Did you see Potkine Vector going off track? While he was trying to go for an overtake on Beastie, didn't work out for him. Hard tyres on for Beastie, softs on for Potkine, but you can see how much wear there already is on Potkine's softs. The same for Alpha Pucci up front. So what's the strategy then, people? Is it 2 laps, maybe 3 on the hards? Don't know whether you're going to do that fuel-wise. Soft tyres are going to blow themselves out pretty quick as well. Maybe get a couple of laps. Maybe you might even get 3 laps out of those softs, to be honest. But they're all back together, all except possibly Popkind and Beastie. But top 5 neck and neck as they hit the mini carousel. Oh, look at this, Martin looking for a way past. We've got Nordschleife looking for a way through here as well. Lukti trying to get up the inside in the Ferrari. Oh, both of them, the Beetle and the Ferrari, getting that one wrong. Bondo finds a way through that chaos. Both been off track again. So, all change at the front. Alpha Pucci's got the Swallowtail all wrong. That has released Mart into the lead of the race by a fair old chunk as well. Bondo's managed to get through there. Alpha Pucci must have crashed into the wall. Let's go and have a look at his car, see if he has got damage on it. He has front left, which is exactly the side. Coming through the Swallowtail. So that does put Mart in the lead then, down to half a tank of fuel as he finishes lap 1. Tyres looking good, he stays out. Bondo stays out on the mediums. Soft tyres for Lukti, he stays out. Same for Nordschleife, even with all the damage. Popkind Vactor stays out. It is just Beastie Bub that comes in. Oh, who've we lost? Oh, we've lost Alpha Pucci. Didn't like not being first. Throwed his toys out of the pram by the looks of it. So Mart up front then. Just under half a tank of fuel. Bondo chasing him down on the medium tyres. Fuel looking a little bit better on the Porsche. Slightly over half a tank. Lukti just under that half tank on the soft. A little bit of damage to contend with though. Again, that's just going to slow him down. And again, we are expecting rain at some point here, so that's probably going to shake things up. Nordschleife. Rear damage and a fair bit of wear on those fronts on the softs. Popkind Vectra, pretty much the same in terms of wear on the front. He's got way under half a tank though. He's got to be careful here, Popkind. I think most drivers have used about half a tank getting round lap 1. There's Beastie, so he's been out, he's been in and dropped on the medium tyres, filled himself up with fuel as well. He's 33 seconds behind race leader Mart. Oh, we are starting to see some times, but they're not quite right. I don't think, are they? 6 seconds and 50? No. Interesting. Lobby's still playing up then after all these years. Lukti into second. That damage doesn't seem to be slowing him down too much. Bondo in third then on those mediums. They're looking pretty good at the moment. Again, the softs really starting to show their wear. They're going to be catching some of these drivers out at the end of lap 2. Popkind also on the softs. Beastie out on that fresh set of mediums. Mart still leads though on those hard tyres. Lukti in second on the softs. So 8 laps here. We're into lap 2. Slide from Lukti, or maybe just a glitch. Like he slid the rear end of that Ferrari out then, but maybe not. Bob Bristow, evening brother. Do, 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 do. He gets many of those, does Bob Bristow. How you doing, big long one? Oh, Nordschleife found himself with half a second penalty. Tyres, I think, just catching him out a little bit in a couple of these corners. He's under threat from Popkind Vectra here. And even though they're semi-worn softs, Beastie is not making any kind of headway into that time. That time for Mart, still not quite right. 6 minutes and 50 seconds. No. Lukti. Oh, he has managed to get it back on the tarmac, but he's pushing those track limits. He's been on the grass once or twice. He's got Bondo now 1.9 seconds behind him. Still got a little bit of time he's finding on those soft tyres. Then Lukti into the carousel. Bondo follows him. Potkind Vectra up to 4th now then. Half worn on the fronts. 2.3 seconds behind Bondo. We've got Koenigsschleife with that half a second penalty. He'll have to lose that on the Dottinger. We're doing all right, Bob. We're doing all right. Did you see Dennis had put up a potential karting end of August sort of thing? Make sure you're there, bro. Beastie just hitting the carousel then on his fresh set of mediums. So the only driver to stop so far. Okay, he's looked, he has found a bit of time then. He's closed the gap up on Mart. Everybody's going to have to come in at the end of this lap. Everybody's running out of fuel. Except Beastie, actually. He's good lad. He's just been in at the end of lap 1, so he's got another lap left in terms of fuel. He's got the medium tyres on as well, which look like they'll do a fair few laps. Just opens that gap up again between himself and Lukti. Again, Lukti's soft tyres might just be slowing him down in 1 or 2 of these turns. Both pulling away from Bondo though. He's now being closed up by Potkind. Koenigsschleife hitting the mini carousel. Oof, nearly getting spat out onto the grass. Again, he's going to have to lose this half a second penalty coming up the Dottinger. It won't make any kind of difference to his time really. He'll be closed up a little bit by Beastie, but he's got to come in the pits at the end of this lap anyway. Oh, get back on the tarmac. Beastie will probably either overtake him or get very, very close. Mart holds the lead then on the Dottinger straight. Lukti, I don't even know if he's picking up slipstream. I think he is. He looks close enough. Just time will not help him out at all. So into the pits for Mart, into the pits for Lukti. Bondo into the pits, followed by, oh, he's risking it, Bondo. How are you going to do another lap on a quarter of a tank? That's ooh, Bondo. Ooh, Bondo. Interesting choice. Interesting choice. Koenigsschleife in as well. Beastie just coming up the Dottinger now. We'll see where he ends up. He's actually only used about 1/3 of a tank. Bondo, though, he's going to be struggling. He's going to have to put that in engine mode slow, I think, to make it round. Now, I was going to say, Beastie did have the option there to come in, fill back up, put a fresh set of tyres on and go out again. Because he wouldn't have spent that long in the pits filling up the fuel versus everybody else. Gets through though into 4th while they all peel out the pits. Bondo already, so didn't stop. He's out trying to complete a lap on about 1/4 of a tank, so keep an eye on that. Mark comes back out the pits in the lead. 37 seconds behind Bondo. He has made a little bit of time up on Lukti though. 3.1 seconds. Full tank of fuel, medium tyres for Mart. Lukti, full tank of fuel and a set of hards. Beastie on those mediums still. Potkind didn't get that damage repaired. Out on a set of hard tyres for stint 2. Koenigsschleife out on the hards as well. Damage repaired on that Beetle. Penalty lost now as well. And we have lost Alpha Pucci from race 1. He's out in the Citroen. Crashed out coming onto the Dottinger and then crashed out of the lobby as well. How efficient can Bondo make this Porsche? he reduces pits by 1 versus everybody else. Stay hydrated, Bob. Don't forget to stay hydrated. It's a great big pint of whiskey and coke for you, Bob. Okay. We're down to 5 drivers. We've lost a beastie, Bob. No, we haven't. Who have we lost? Come on. Oh, he's just crashed out. Lookty. Lookty in the Ferrari. We're down to 5 drivers. Oof. Popcorn Vectra just getting himself back on the grass as well. Unfortunately, this is kind of what I was afraid of a little bit. Not many drivers in the lobby. It does end up just becoming qualifying laps. So nobody chasing Mark down now. He's got 5.2 seconds back to Beastie. He's got another 10 seconds back to Nordschleife, and he's got another 5 seconds back to Popkine. So it's not really racing now. It is, you know, they're still racing, but nobody, you know, having a go at anyone else, if you like. Whether that changes when Bondo runs out of fuel, being as he's done about, oh no, just over half a lap. I think he might do this, you know. He's not really losing time to Mark behind him either, still at 34 seconds. BMW doesn't look like it's running slow, so there's Beastie in 3rd now then with Lookty's departure. I heard a BMW driving slow. I didn't know if Mark had just stacked it into a wall, but no. Nordschleife then in the Vanta black and blue Beetle. Can't even see it. Popkine then rolling round at the back. Again, damage on that car. So, Bondo. Fuel flashing at him. He might just be able to do this, Bondo. He might have played this strategy absolutely bang on. As long as he doesn't run out of fuel coming up that Dottinger straight, he's still, oh, what's he lost? He's lost a couple of seconds to 2nd place now. So might just be on the fuel saving mission a little bit harder. Now it's getting a tiny bit lower. A few more corners till this Dottinger straight, and then it's an all-out thrash to the pits for him. Up towards the Swallowtail then. This is where we saw Alpha Pucci get it wrong, but Bondo not having any of that. Can he make it up this Dottinger straight though? That's the question. Look how little fuel he's got in that car. Oh, just starting to see the rain coming in as well, I think. Yes, I am. Everybody's going to come in for inters or wets then. Unfortunately, everybody else has only just been in, except Beastie. Just the uphill section to go. It's to the absolute limit for Bondo in terms of fuel. He has got his strategy absolutely bang on here. Comes into the pits literally just as the rain turns up. Last couple of corners, then onto the Dottinger straight. Mark's also onto that Dottinger straight, as is Beastie. It's absolutely tipping it down. Will everybody come in for tyres? Will that just give Bondo that little bit of advantage still? Beastie's got to come in. Oh no, again, if Bondo could do an extra lap on that fuel, then Beastie probably could, but what's the point? He's got to come in for tyres anyway. So Bondo in, Mart in. He will spend less time in the pits in terms of filling up with fuel. So it will be a lot closer to Bondo when he comes out. Bondo goes for the full tank then. He's gone for racing mediums. Oh, that might have been a mistake for him. See, Mark now released. He is on intermediates. So we could see Bondo struggling here in this rain. Does sound like he's taking his time. Mark can push that car a little bit harder on the inters. Beastie out the pits. He's gone for the full wet tyre setup. Try not to spin that one up. Nordschleife in the pits now, taking on board fuel. As is, oh, Potkine's not even in his box yet. Damage being repaired on Nordschleife's car. Gets released. He's gone for the inters. Have to wait a few seconds while we fill up with fuel for Potkine. We'll go and see at the front what that gap looks like now. It was 33 seconds when they came in the pits. Full wets on then for Potkine. Oh, look at this. Look at this. 1.3 seconds. You can visibly see that BMW getting closer to the Porsche. And passed on the inters. Bondo praying that the rain stops now. Mart, on the other hand, wants it to continue for as long as possible while he stays in front on the... Oh, Bondo! He can't brake coming into the hairpin. Almost takes out the rear end of Mart as he does so. Oh, he's found himself with a 1 second penalty, and he's still got this dirty weather on racing medium tyres to contend with. I think the rain's only going to get heavier as well. Beastie Bug on that full wet setup, now just 10 seconds behind Bondo. I was expecting Bondo to come out on a set of wet tyres or inters or something and just keep himself with a fighting chance. Nordschleife 20 seconds behind Beastie in 4th. Potkine 5th then on the full wets, another 18 seconds behind Nordschleife. Bondo's been off track again, so when we left he had 1 second penalty for missing the hairpin. Now he's got 2.5 seconds, and he's also lost half of that time to Beastie Bug behind. Just 4.3 seconds now. There is Beastie. So much quicker on the wet tyres. There we go, Beastie through easily. Bondo drops to 3rd, then Nordschleife now 23 seconds behind him. But again, intermediate wet tyre versus a race tyre for Bondo. It'll be interesting to see whether Potkine Vectra can close that gap up as well. Yeah, Bondo's really struggling here. Time between himself and Nordschleife is plummeting. It was 23 seconds, it's down to 16 now, 17. So much easier to get the power down in the wet once you've got the right tyres on. Oof, Beastie lights the rear of the Porsche up, holds on to it though. Mark looking comfortable, fuel looking good, not a blip of wear on those inters at the minute due to the wetness. And he is 7 seconds ahead of Beastie. So yeah, Bondo, oh, More penalties. So another second he's added onto that one. It's now 3.5 seconds. I was expecting Bondo to be coming out of those pits with a set of inters or wets on to stay ahead of Mart. Even if by less, you know, I know there was 33 seconds coming in, but Bondo did have a full tank of fuel he had to take on. Mart only had to take on about 1/4 of a tank, maybe just over 1/4 of a tank, so they would have been very close, but the choice to put on a racing tyre has cost him a couple of positions. Is it still actually raining on track? Yeah, I can still see water hitting the windscreen. You can see it hitting the road as well there in the headlights. So it is still wet out on track. Oh, look at this. There is Nordschleife already on the back of Bondo here. Oh, he's been pushed out of the carousel into the wall. Easy for Nordschleife as he lights up the rears of the Beetle. But the extra grip just gives him the power to push on even if he is driving through the grass. Popcorn Vector now just 20 seconds behind him. Bondo might end up finding himself at the back of the pack here from the front in a single lap. Mart's made a mistake somewhere. He's lost a big chunk of time to Beastie behind. 2.4 seconds the gap now. Maybe it's just the better grip of the full wets locking up, hooking up a bit better here maybe. Still raining here on track is the next question. Yeah, rain is still falling. Maybe there's just a slightly grippier wet tyre working in Beastie Bub's favour. Less than a second between him and Mart then. A little bit sideways through there, closing up to Mart again here though. Oh, misses the carousel. Loses a chunk of time coming into the swallowtail. This is exactly what he didn't want. He wanted to be right behind Mart. Coming onto the swallowtail, keep that slipstream. Yeah, I think he's just picked it up still. Now, what do we think the choices are? Still raining here. Our driver's going to risk coming in for a tyre stop. Beastie and Mart. Well, Beastie just having a conversation with Mart there, saying, come on, let's win this. So that means they're going to play nice together. Both drivers struggling a little bit to get these things stopped. Go again then. So it looks like Mart and Beastie are going to sort of have their own little race for the next couple of laps. Nordschleife then through to 3rd position. Popcorn Vector has already overtaken Bondo by a shed load as well. Bondo, after losing his 3.5 minutes penalty or whatever he had, it was growing increasingly every time we saw him. Just saying something in the chat there. I won't be able to look without leaving. But yeah, he's on those racing tyres, which has just caught him out. You can see still raining here at Nordschleife. Everybody else has stayed out on their wet tyres. Still, there's a tiny, tiny little line of wear on Mart's. Still nothing on Beastie's. Both drivers got plenty of fuel in as well for the next lap. Mart might be able to squeeze 3 laps out of that fuel, actually. First and second then, neck and neck. Nordschleife out on his own, 30 seconds behind those top two. 12 seconds ahead of Potkind. Potkind now 38 seconds ahead of Bondo, who's still out on those medium tyres, still struggling to get around this circuit. It's just costing him more and more time, unfortunately. Look like the wet tyre on the Porsche is running a bit quicker than the Inters, as I say that, as Beastie nearly throws that Porsche in the grass. Both drivers tentative coming into these turns, absolutely tipping it down with rain here then. Halfway around the Nordschleife. Lap 5 of 8 of race 1. Gone for 8 lap races this week. Oof. Again, both drivers lighting up the rears. Beastie just taking advantage of that little slip up by Mark there. It was a clean move. Can he pull away? Does look like those wet tyres are running a little bit quicker. You see the Porsche already stretching that gap out between first and second. Tentative getting the throttle on for all of these drivers coming out of these turns. Beetle in third place though, but 35 seconds behind the top two. Nordschleife gets it backwards. He's got Potkind not far behind him actually. There he is. He's going to go for an overtake here on those Inters. Bondo still just trying to get this thing around the circuit, praying that the rain stops and the track dries out immediately. It's a long race for him on those mediums. Both drivers opting to go on the outside of the carousel. I'm not sure Mark actually wanted to, but it did look like Beastie Bub steered that way around it. Potkind then taking that third place off of Nordschleife. Nordschleife looking to come back at him though. He's just a second behind him. Poor old Bondo, now a minute plus behind. Beastie starting to make those wet tyres work a little better then. Just pulled 2 seconds over Mark. Keeping it in touch though, Mark. Just brings that time back down a little bit by 3/10. Potkind holding that third. Nordschleife still looking for a way round him, but still a second and a half back at the minute. Oh, we just catch Bondo backwards again. Is it still raining where he is? Doesn't actually look like it's raining anymore. That could be the rain done and dusted. But the track's still going to be wet. Bondo's still going to struggle until that dry line appears, which won't happen. For a little while yet, unfortunately. Minute carousel then for Beastie and Mart, heading up towards the Swallowtail. Both drivers through there cleanly. Now another drag race to the top of the hill. So the track is still wet. I don't think it's raining anymore though. Interesting to see if they opt to come in for another set of tyres here or risk going round again on the wets. Mart's got enough fuel to do that. Beastie Bub, maybe, but he'd have to do some fuel saving. But if the track dries out halfway round, their tyres will blow themselves up pretty damn quick. But they have got a big old gap to the drivers behind them. Beastie comes in then, Mart opts to stay out. So again, although it's not actually raining, the track will stay wet for a while, which will give Mart use out of those inters. Beastie needed fuel anyway. It'd be interesting to see what tyres he comes out on. See the weather starting to brighten up a little bit already. Nordschleife then back into third position past Potkind Vectra. He's got to come in the pits though. Potkind probably going to be in as well. Nordschleife in, Potkind in, Bondo can just start to see that dry line now. So only now will the medium start to work for Bondo, but unfortunately he's lost far too much time while that rain came down. And he's got to avoid the wet parts of the circuit still, otherwise it could be all over for him. Now this is a trouble for Mart. So this side of the circuit, you can see, it's still very wet, plenty of water to keep those tyres cool for him. As we've just seen with Bondo, around the back half of the circuit, not so much. That's where the tyre wear will start to kick in on Mart's inters. I mean, they'll start to wear out a lot more now. It isn't actually raining, but while it's still wet on track, let's have a look from his point of view. Still no dry line showing up yet, but it won't be long, and then you will start to see those intermediate tyres burning themselves up. Now Beastie's back out the pits as well. I want to see what tyres he's come out on. He's come back out on another set of inters. So again, interesting choice, being as the track's now drying up. Again, this side of the circuit's still wet, but as he gets, I mean, he's going to find the dry spots before Mart finds it, because obviously it's drying out more and more. Mart's further around the circuit, so the parts that Mart's driving on will dry out obviously as Beastie Bub comes towards them. So he might see the dry line quicker, therefore blow his tyres up a little bit quicker, causing him to struggle. Again, both of these drivers got big gaps to the drivers behind. Nordschleife another 55 seconds behind Beastie. He's also out on another set of intermediate tyres. Potkind has gone for the intermediate tyres as well. Bondo is just coming into the pits. Still wet then for Mart. He has been off though, front and rear damage on that car. Still wet circuit for Mart then. Let's just jump back to Beastie. You can just start to see it showing up there, look. Visibly clearer on Beastie's screen than it is on Mart's, even though there's only 10 seconds between them. There it is, Mart being caught out. Beastie goes back through to first then, Mart second. Beastie with the advantage now then. He's got a... oh, no, apologies. I thought Beastie had come in for fuel as well. He hasn't. He's just come in for a quick set of tyres. So he will still have to come in at the end of this lap anyway for fuel. As will Mart. He's going to be running slow with all that damage, unfortunately. Nurburgring and still a minute plus behind those two. Potkind can visibly see the dry line now. Again, you'll start to see the intermediate tyres start to heat up and wear out pretty damn quick on those dry lines. You might see some of these drivers across to the wet side of the track just to pick up a little bit of water. Try and keep these things cool on the run round. Bondo's gone for a set of racing hards then. Not a full tank of fuel in that thing either. So the gap's still just under 3 seconds then between Beastie and Mart, even though Mart had that big accident. Lost the position and all that time to Beastie. It's all going to come down to the last 2 laps between these two. Nordschleife third then on those inters. Again, everybody's still out on track on the wet or everybody's on the intermediates now. Beastie had gone for a set of wets. Still pockets of water on the circuit then. Again, it's things like that. I was going to say, it's things like that that Bondo's got to be careful of, and it's caught him out just as I've said it. See the inters starting to heat up now. Be okay for Beastie and Mart. I think they'll easily get round to the pits before their tyres blow up. Nurburgring should just about make it. Stay on track, son. Potkind tyres looking pretty good as well. Bondo just trying to avoid the moisture on circuit. So they're all going to be in for fuel. Mark's lost a little bit more time to Beastie. Set of tyres will last you, a set of softs will last you 2 laps here on the current settings. Okay, Beastie comes in then with 4 litres in his tank. Mark coming in with even less. That's going to be an absolute push between these two then. It's going to be, what was that, 7.7 seconds when they came in the pits. It'll be pretty much identical. Unless Mark gets that damage repaired. It's going to lose him a little bit more time in the pits. Will he be able to make that up in the next 2 laps though? Nurburgring in third, halfway up the Dottinger straight. He'll also be in for fuel, so that keeps him out of the race between Mart and Beastie. There is Potkind in the background, just sticking to the wet part of the circuit. A bit late now. Well, unless you're looking to do another lap on those tyres. Plenty of fuel on board for Potkind. But I don't know whether he can risk doing another lap on the inters. It is drying out rapidly here. Those tyres are going to be exploding halfway around this circuit if he does opt to stay out. Let's see. He stays out. Oof, this could be a mistake. Bondo 2 minutes behind him, but that might all change as this track dries out. Yeah, he might still have to come in for a little blip of fuel, Bondo, but we'll see. Back to the front then. The race is on. Beastie in first, 9 seconds ahead of Mart. Mart did opt to get that damage repaired, so that's what cost him the extra time. About a second and a half, I think. Racing softs on for him. Racing mediums on for Beastie. So, as the track dries out, the mediums, the softs will work a lot better than the mediums. You are going to start seeing it drying out rapidly now. Clouds are disappearing, the sun's coming back out. It will start drying the track off a bit quicker. Beastie's tyres will last him till the end of the race as well, obviously. But they will run a tiny bit slower than the softs for Mart. He's already made up half a second on him. Potkind, those inters are starting to get a little bit warm now. Heading towards the halfway hot point for Potkind. Again, just looking for those little bits of moisture here and there. He's probably going to have to come in at the end of this lap to stick a set of tyres on. 27 seconds ahead of this man. He's also on a set of racing softs. But he has just been off track, picked up a little bit of rear end damage on that Beetle. Bondo just goes past the pits now. Oh, it's gone deep though through that final turn. It's going to lose him a little bit more time. Okay, that time is rapidly coming down. Beastie's had a little mistake somewhere. That 9-second gap is down to 5.6. There is Beastie just turning left. Still wet points at this part of the circuit as well. Racing line very much dry though. Down to 5 seconds. Another lap to go after this one as well. Both drivers pushing to the end. Potkind's tyres in third, starting to get way past comfortable. I'm sure Potkind's going to have to come in for fuel anyway before the end of this race, so probably going to be in at the end of this lap for a little bit of fuel, maybe a fresh set of tyres. Does that give Nordschleife the opportunity to get past him? He's got plenty of fuel on Nordschleife. Bondo has actually pulled a massive great chunk of time, even though he's found himself with a big dent on the front of that Porsche. The gap is down to 1 minute 38 seconds. It was 2 minutes and 9 between himself and Nordschleife. So again, now that track's drying up hard, starting to grip finally. Just got to avoid those wet bits for Bondo. Oh, Beastie bub, Beastie, he's binned it good and proper. The whole left hand side, the whole right hand side of his car's been into a wall. And that has allowed Mart through. Oh, he's pushing it. He's just saw him catch a little bit of wet through there. He's done it again. He's just finding the wrong parts of this circuit. It's catching him out. Again, Beastie. He's pushing too hard. He's upset with himself that he's crashed. He's trying to close that gap up on Mart, but he's unfortunately, I think he's just pushing a little bit too hard now. Stay with second. Mart then, now 14.5 seconds lead. Tyres still looking good. Should have just enough fuel here. Mark might have to do a tiny bit of fuel saving at the end. Hopefully, when this race is done, we jump back out into the lobby and there's 15 drivers waiting to race. Fortunately, we've had a few drivers jump in the lobby, but they see it's 8 laps. Nobody's hanging around in a lobby for 8 laps of Nordschleife. Pulling more time then, 18 seconds, 19 seconds over Beastie. That Porsche running slow then with all that damage. Look how far back he is now, Beastie. What a shame. He's got all that damage on that car as well. Should be safe for... well, he will be safe for second because Potkine's going to be in a world of hurt if he carries on those tyres. You can see how much wear there is on those. Everything is red. No, it isn't. Oh yeah, it is. Apart from your rear. Your rear left isn't red anymore. Mark then past the pit entrance and crossing the line to start his last lap for race 1. Beastie, he's staying out with that bent Porsche. Oh, I think he's trying to clap that rear wheel. It's the only thing that's not bent on his car at the minute. Potkine then in third, but those tyres absolutely devastated. He needs fuel as well, so he'll have to come in the pits to get tyres and fuel. Koenigschleiser's softs are still looking good. He is actually still using the wet parts of the circuit to keep a bit of life in the softs. Can he make his way into third past Potkine? It's then going to be a race because I can guarantee Potkine's going to stick a set of soft tyres on. He doesn't need that much fuel either. Koenigschleiser then past pit entrance. Potkine just hits his pit box now. Koenigschleiser through. Now you need to stay off the wet through the curly bits. Potkine gets released then. Half a tank of fuel, fresh set of softs on board. What is he? 11.2 behind Koenigschleiser. That is doable. Back to 2 minutes behind, unfortunately. Mart still leads then, 14 seconds over Beastie. He's had another little accident though somewhere. A little bit of front end damage. Beastie still trying to find a corner to wreck that rear left wheel of his. Everything else on that Porsche is bent, except the engine and that left rear. So there is Koenigschleiser on his worn softs with all the damage. And there is Potkine with a fresh set of softs and no damage on that car. 6 seconds behind him now. So Koenigschleiser, no! Koenigschleiser off at the hairpin. Potkine very close now, just 2.5 seconds back. He's also just clammed into the wall, picked up a little bit of damage. It's going to be a good fight between these two. Bondo's got to do a whole lap. Well, he's done a few laps all on his own, but he's got to do the whole last lap all on his own. Mark then losing more time, only a little bit, to Beastie Bud behind. 12.7 seconds the gap currently between first and second. Lots and lots of damage on that Porsche. Mark maybe just taking it a little bit easy. He's got enough fuel to finish this lap. He hasn't got to go on fuel saving mode. He's just got to make sure he keeps it off that wet part of the circuit. Keep those tyres as grippy as possible. Beastie, I was just about to say comfortable in third until he nearly spun himself off track. He's way ahead of Nordschleife, way ahead of Nordschleife. Nordschleife drifting that Beetle into the wall then. And that has allowed Potkind through. And that could be all she wrote. Potkind on those super fresh tyres. And all that damage on Nordschleife's car. It's just going to slow him down a little bit. I'm not sure if Bondo's time is quite right. It's now saying he's nearly 30 seconds quicker than he was. Don't think he's going to be able to make up 30 seconds. Mark then maintaining that 15-ish seconds gap between himself and Beastie. That's exactly what I was talking about. That's exactly what I was talking about. Mart just trying to get across one of those curbs there. And as he came across it, I could see it was sopping wet still. And that was it. The car got lit up and sent him into a wall. The gap coming down rapidly then as Beastie comes up towards him at full race pace still. And now it's both top two absolutely covered head to toe in damage. There's now 6.2 seconds between them. And there you go. That's the risk of hitting those wet parts of the circuit. Mark just looking for the racing line across that curb. And as the rear wheel hit it, it just spun it up. And that was it. Around she went. You see the dry line as such, but you know, that's obviously because the cars have been driving across it. Those curbs, not everyone hits those every lap, so they don't dry out as quick, if at all. You still see they are a little bit shiny, all the curbs actually. Tells me they've all got a little bit of wet on. Through the mini carousel though, cleanly for Mart up towards the Swallowtail. He's maintained and actually opened up that gap a little bit between himself and Beastie. It's up to 6 seconds as he hits the Dottinger. And he should make easy work of that. Beastie on those mediums. Trying to close back up, but he's way too... Oh! What? Why? Why Beastie? Yeah, he's just messing, isn't he? Potkind's a minute behind him, so he can do what he wants. That's what he's doing. He's reversing down the Dottinger straight. Mark then, he realises that Beastie's messing. Time's extending massively. So he can just coast up towards the line, take the win. No threat then, no pressure for him in these last few turns. Potkind just hitting the mini carousel, so just coming up to the Dottinger. Can Beastie make it across the line? There's a burnout across the line to take the win then. Can Beastie get across the line in reverse? We're going to see Potkind's headlights in a second. There he is. Oh, Beastie, I think you might lose this. When does he do the J-turn and stick the hammer down? Here comes Potkind rapidly closing up on him now. There is a reversing Porsche going up the hill. If Potkind does take second, then Beastie is going to, well, possibly come home in third. He might be driving off back towards the race start. I don't know. Using time travel or something. But it is Potkind that takes second. Beastie has made it to the line, but he has lost a position, unfortunately. He's not too far off being overtaken by Nordschleife actually, but he does take third, absolutely backwards, all the way down the Dottinger Straight. Fair play to you. And Nordschleife has decided to finish the race in the pits. And Bondo, we're not even going to see. We're not even going to see him cross the line. I thought your strategy was going to work out so well, Bondo, and then you put racing mediums on one. It was still tipping it down with rain. You absolute maniac. It's actually stayed quite wet here. There's still a big pile of moisture on that circuit down the Dottinger. There is then wheel spinning across the line for first place for Mark then. What happened to Lukty then? He left the race, but he's still in the lobby. And unfortunately, there's not 50 drivers waiting to race. There's still only 6. There's 5 now because Beastie's just left. Damn. Yeah. Ah, okay. We're down to 4. 4 drivers. God damn. Wow. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Where is all the drivers? Everybody loves racing Nurburgring. Whether it's the 8 laps that are putting people off, I don't know. For an open lobby, you know, for an open lobby to turn up and see it's 8 laps might just be a little bit daunting for a lot of people. You know, it's a long old track, damages on heavy. They might come in, see the setup, and go, "Yeah, forget that." If you're committed, if you like a bit of Nordschleife and Nurburgring, then more rain. You know, because there are a lot of people that love a bit of Nordschleife. So why they're not appearing, I don't know. Oh, really? Well, saying that, yeah, I will say, Chris, that we have had, at the start of this race, janky split times between the drivers. I think there was nothing between first and third. First and second and third. It was only those drivers backwards. And after that, even when the times did show up, they still weren't quite right. So, yeah, obviously. And if people can't get on or can't find a lobby, I suppose it's a pain. But you'd expect more than 4 drivers. Well, I would anyway. We'll see. Got 5 more minutes, so if people are listening or fancy getting involved, then, well, come and find the lobby. You can see at the top corner there, GT Just for Fun Driving Club, YT Dark Smoker. Still only 4. Unreal. You've not got it locked off, have you? It is just a... What does it say? It doesn't say, does it? And if you can't find the room, it's 99522N. If that helps. If looked, he doesn't put himself in a car, we might be down to 3 drivers. At which point, I don't know if it's worth it. Unless you 3 can keep absolutely bumper to bumper for the next 8 laps, but I can't see that happening with rain. Oh, you have to use a set of racing hards as well. Oosh. And we wait. Come on, more drivers. We had drivers pop in during race 1. Again, I think they've kind of come in expecting to see maybe 2 or 3 laps. Maybe seen the 8 laps. Nobody's hanging around for 8 laps. Oh, I'll come back to this one. And then they find themselves in another lobby and completely forget. Well, looked he's still not picked a car. PSN down, yeah, I think you could be right. It's coming up in the chat. Can I see my list of friends? No. Oh, I can't believe you're making me delete that. Yes, cancel race, but no, I can't see my friends. Oh, that's Nordschleife now gone as well. No car, he's been kicked out. Well, that's... Oh, Nordschleife's back with a car. But yeah, 3... Looked he can't get in. 3 drivers. That's not much racing, is it? I mean, we lost... Next week, 3 laps. Okay, you heard the man himself. So next week we're back to 3 laps. Hopefully we entice a few more drivers in. But yeah, stupid networks costing us drivers and costing us racing. So yeah, that's going to be it. We're going to cancel tonight. We've managed to get one race in, but we lost drivers throughout that as well. And just, yeah, network issues causing us issues. So that's it from me, peeps. Unfortunately, like, comment, subscribe. Unfortunately, it wasn't a full night's of racing as per usual, but you know, we have no say over the network. But that's going to be it from me tonight, people. I hope you have liked what you've watched, what there has been of it. Like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, tell your mates, tell your mums. My name's Dark Smoker. I'm out of here.